Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rap from the Reason. Today I'm going to be talking about, the Wilderness blog update. Now, that is not the name of the update. The update is actually named Undead Pirate Rewards More, but everything in this is about the Wilderness. So we're going to be talking about the Wilderness, essentially. Now, to be clear, this isn't a video that I normally make. Normally, I don't talk about updates and all this stuff. And, you know, as a hardcore man, this update really doesn't even affect me that much. But I'm trying to become a content creator, and to be a content creator, you have to be very good at communicating. So I'm using kind of like these blog updates as like a way to communicate better, to get better at making content, etc. So we're going to be talking about this. Now, we're not reacting to it. I've already read it, and I'm going to give TLDRs and everything. I'll put little, you know, times in the YouTube video for you to skip to. So if there's anything in like particular that you're interested in, then we'll post it there. Either way, let's get into it. Also, sorry, one last thing. If you are subscribing to the channel and you don't like this, you could just let me know. If you're only here for the Hardcore Iron Man series, just tell me. And I will stop notifying subscribers of these videos being posted. Because you have that option when you post content. I could post something and my subscribers don't get notified. So if you don't like this, just let me know down below. If you like it, I'll keep notifying you guys. Or if someone says nothing. Either way. But alright, let's get into it. So, the first thing on this blog update is about the Wilderness Agility course. Now, the TLDR here is that you get scaling money and experience per lap, with the GP being split between blighted supplies and amylase crystals. So, you get more money, more experience, the longer you stay there. Now, let's get more into it. And if you guys didn't know, amylase crystals, they're used to make stamina potions. And they're very valuable. They're really the only moneymaker that the real effective moneymaker at training agility. There might be other methods I'm just unaware of, but that's really the only way that you make money. And you make the most money at the Ardugan rooftop course, but which we'll get more into in a moment. It's going to be comparable to that and even surpass it. So, getting back into it, the loot specifically scales with the amount of laps you do in the course, with 61 or more, being the most GP you can make per lap, which is about 40k GP. Now, they estimated that your first hour there would be 2.2 million GP per hour, and then the second hour, or any hour afterwards, is 3.2 million, which is a fair bit of money for training agility. It's a lot of potential. Now, as for actual amylase crystals, let's say you're there for an hour and onwards, it's double the amount of amylase crystals you get from Ardugan rooftops, or 1.5 times if you have the RD Elite Diary done. So, there's a catch to this, right? To get into the Wilderness Agility course, there is a buy-in of 150,000 GP that's permanently lost in entry, whether you die or leave. Now, take that for what it is. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's a high-risk reward situation. So, it's just a high-risk, high-reward training method. Maybe not something that you would want to do all the way to 99, but for a main player, someone that's interested in anti-PKing, this is, it's nice variation. It's something that breaks the monotony of training agility, which is great. I think that more methods like this is awesome to incorporate. But okay. Getting into it, we said that there would be scaling agility XP per hour, right? Well, that's not from the actual course. There's stackable tokens you get every lap. And these stackable tokens, they're similar like pest control points. They give bonus percentage XP depending on how much you stack. It's anywhere between 5 to 15%, with 15% being at 101 plus tokens given. So they estimated that if it's completely uninterrupted, you can expect about 66,000 XP per hour, which is comparable to the Prefinance Agility course. And of course, these tokens are untradeable and they're lost in depth, so there's even more of a risk factor to staying for prolonged times. Now, if you thought that was going to be easy and you could just log out as you please, skeletons are going to be everywhere in the course to prevent that. Also, it's going to be a singles plus area. If you guys don't know what a singles plus area is, that essentially means that you could be in combat with something and a player can start attacking you in that area. So, this area, as I said before, it's going to be a very high risk, high reward area. But if all these changes are pulled in the game, then it's going to be a lot of XP and GP per hour. It's going to be another PvP hotspot. So I'm kind of hoping for that. And I'll kind of get into specifically why I'm hoping for that in a few moments. And sorry if you guys hear my clicks in the background. You can see in the bottom right, we're fishing anglerfish right now. Already not fishing, other things we can work on, but it's the most AFK thing I found I could do while making this. And you know, the grind never stops. But alright, the Fountain of Rune, that's the next big topic here. Now, we're going to get into this quite a bit. Not really, not as much as Wilderness Agility course. But alright, first things first is these guys addressed concerns of possible bots, you know, just insta login when you log in or you see them alking. Because the whole proposed change is that you can alk for free there and you can alk multiple items at a time, and people were concerned about bots. Well, turns out you don't have to be concerned about them because they're implementing a 3-second delay after casting any spell. Or rather, it's already been implemented. So, with that being said, bots can't just like insta-log after casting or high alking. So this might be another PvP hotspot to punish players and bots that are trying to take advantage of this. Alright. So the next thing that they talked about here was inflation. They addressed concerns of inflation, basically saying that inflation is created by more alkables coming into the game, and the GAP created from the alkables from already existed items being alked doesn't create inflation, which I agree. And in theory, it even increases the prices of the items that are already in the game that have such heavy profit margins, such as Rune arrows. Rune arrows, the price of them would increase greatly if you were to be able to alk 30 of them at a time at this altar. Which, speaking of that, sorry, not altar, at the Fountain of Rune. Speaking of that, they propose that every tier of diary increases the amount of items you high alk there, with easy given 5, medium given 10, hard being 20, and elite being 30. So if you have the Wilderness Elite Diary done, in theory, you can alk 30 rune arrows at a time there. And they estimated that if you were to do it uninterrupted, you would make 6 mil GP per hour, which is the definition of a high risk, high reward activity. Insane. Alright, now on to one of the bigger, juicier things. We're going to talk about the Chivalry Prayer Scroll. Now, the Chivalry Prayer Scroll is a tradable scroll that gives access to the Chivalry Prayer as a drop from undead pirates. And from after reading this, it sounds like they want Zerkers to be able to use Chivalry, which I think is a fantastic idea. I think it's a great idea. Zerkers just feel so bad to play right now. Like, why make a Zerker if you can just make a pure? It's faster to make a pure. You have still a great PKing experience. In a way, you like have a bigger range of players you can kill because you know, there's a lot of noobs that just try to do wilderness at low levels, or there's a lot of like hardcore Ironmans that try to do it at low level. That whole med level, if you go in medium, like if you're like 80 to 90 combat and you're going into like level 30 plus wilderness, you're just being bullied by mains. So having access to having access to Chivalry is just another tool for Zerkers to start fighting back. And not only that, let's say you don't PK Deep Wilderness. If you're a 75 attack Zerker, you probably know the feeling of fighting a 60 attack, 70 defense parity account. It feels painful. It does not feel fun. It feels awful. It's just not fun. So I think that having access to Chivalry is a huge shift in the meta, and it's going to finally let Zerkers shine, because let's be honest, guys, like, how long have Zerkers just been like put in the background? You know, this kind of gives them that additional oomph that they need to compete. So with all that being said, as you can see, I'm a big fan of doing this. I have a Zerker myself. I'm eventually going to make a series about it. I don't know when that day is, but eventually we will. Maybe when I start, you know, mining amulets or fishing, not fishing, or doing like redwood logs on this account, but that's towards the latter end of this account, so whatever, right? What I'm getting at is I do have a Zerker. It's pretty progressed. We're just gonna finish progressing it, and then PK. Especially if Chivalry changes come through, I'm excited for that. Frane is excited for that. CNGZ is excited for that. Anyone that PKs would be like ecstatic to see this happen. Great changes. But okay. They're on top of, you know, just Chivalry being pulled as a tradable scroll drop, which, by the way, I also wanted to put this out there. If Chivalry cannot be used by Zerkers, no one's gonna fucking buy this scroll. Who would buy this scroll? It doesn't make sense. New players, they're just going to be told, hey, don't bother spending all this GP on this scroll that's not even like desirable when you just get 70 prayer. Like, it's just 10 prayer levels away. Does it cost a lot? Yeah, but you're better off doing that than buying the scroll. That's for sure. Not only that, unless the scroll was like 50k, which at that point, like, who gives a fuck, right? It's just a failed drop at that point. Who's gonna really go out and kill it, aside from like Wilderness Slayer? But not only that, there's no desire if Zerkers can't use it, is just what I'm getting at. No one's gonna like go out of their way to use Chivalry. Everyone is just gonna go straight to piety. There's no point. So this has to be used for Zerkers. With that being said, they're pulling possible like reworks to Chivalry to make it more favorable to use, you know, as your 60 prayer. So they're basically saying like, hey, we're buffing it a bit. Do you want it to be 20% defense and 18% attack, or 15% defense and 20% attack? Currently, as it stands, it increases your defense by 20% and your attack by 15%, with your strength by 18%, but they're not pulling the change to the strength. As it stands right now, it's already at 20% defense. I think that if they're aiming at putting this towards Zerks, just make it 15% defense and make it 20% attack. That will make like Deep Wilderness feel so much better for Zerkers, because they get bullied by mains all the time. This gives them you know, a little bit more combat, another full combat level too. So it makes edge PKing kind of like some accounts outside of their normal bracket as well. Things are going to change very greatly. So this is it's just not that important. Not only that, the only people that are going to use Chivalry are new players or Zerkers. So new players, you know, just give them more attack power to kind of like storm through the earlier content a little bit easier. Because as much as, you know, you enjoy new content and being a noob, blah blah blah, you don't want them to sit there for too long. Giving them like options like this kind of help them get through it a little faster. I feel like that's better. And obviously for all the reasons I said with the Zerker. So I feel like the Chivalry Prayer Scroll, very good update, very worth talking about all of these. I'm very much in favor of having 20% attack, and I very much hope that Zerkers are going to be able to use this. And if Zerkers aren't going to be able to use this, it's just going to be a dead update. It's going to have no Baron on no Baron at all on the Wilderness. Alright, so everything else here is kind of just like whatever. A lot of things here are just going to be like quality of life is what we're going to call them. So there is a they're going to be increasing Wildy Slayer NPC respawn times and quantities. Obviously this makes Wildy Slayer way better. Yeah, like when you got Ice Giant task, it didn't feel that great to do because, you know, they're deep wilderness and there's only like 4 of them. It's just not that great of a task. Now if there's more of them, it just becomes way better, right? Adamant Seeds, they're going to be adding these into the game. They're just like Mithril Seeds. Mithril Seeds move you 1 tile westwards. Adamant Seeds will move you 1 tile east. So it's just it's another way to prevent people from catching a freeze under you and just, you know, walking away. It's kind of like a gamble at that point if they're going to move east, west, whatever. So on to the next one. They call this the Blip Blocking Scroll. They're proposing it as a drop that they're proposing as a drop from a, what's it called? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. They're proposing it as a drop from the Undead Pirates. It's basically something that prevents like Elder Chaos Druids and possibly Abyssal Demons from teleporting you around. Alright. And that's it. I think that's a nice quality of life. I'm not sure about the teleporting around of Abyssal Demons. If it's toggleable, that'd be nice, because half the reason you like doing Abyssal Demon tasks nowadays is like burst catacombs, and them teleporting you around, I think, actually helps you like pull aggro, like get more aggro. So I don't think that's necessarily like a W, but if it's toggleable, that would be great. But alright, getting into it again, they increased the superior monster spawn rate by 10% while on the Wildy Slayer task. Now, if you're an Iron Man, a regular Iron Man, not a hardcore, and you're interested in getting a Butte Heart, maybe consider doing some Wildy Slayer, as, you know, there's increased superior spawn rates. Alright, and a couple other just minor things. Bandits, they were an awful task to get when you did Wilderness Slayer, but now there have been some alchables included that are like Rune items and some Dragon Longswords. So that's nice. You might make a fair bit of GP actually doing those now. Let's see, there's more frequent coin drops at the high level rogues. So as in, not like the rogues chest or anything like that, like actually killing the higher level rogues. So yeah, that's about it for this. Yeah, there's not really much else to talk about. I guess the last thing to really mention is that players can purchase multiple imbued god capes for 250,000 GP. So there's that. And alright, that's about it. If you guys enjoyed this sort of a video, you can just like, comment, tell me what's up. If you guys disagreed with any of my takes or any of the things I talked about, you can kind of talk to me about that too, and we can have an open discussion in the comments. If you guys don't want to be notified of this sort of content, then you can just let me know in the content, and I'm still gonna make these sort of videos, but I'll just refrain from notifying you guys of them. So that's about it, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.